The first thing I'd like to say is I think Tim Connelly slept about 16 minutes in the last 4 days total. So it was an exciting 2 days. I give Quessy and those guys at the Vikings a lot of credit for kind of getting through a 2-day or multi-day draft. That is a monster. But we, I guess, just open up for questions. Okay.
Matt, just how do you feel just in general walking out of these 2 days and what you're able to accomplish with the team?
Yeah, I think, all the credit really goes to Tim. The guy, have you guys seen that meme where the guy's like the beautiful mind meme and all the numbers and everything? The guy was a complete monster the last 2 days, just putting us in a position to add to the team without, with kind of limited resources. So we go into the summer league and into the rest of the summer with a good little foundation of talent. We've enhanced the talent on the team. We've addressed some weaknesses on the team, and we're really, really excited about the next couple weeks. Summer league will start, I think, in the next week or so, and we'll get a chance to see these guys, get them on the floor and start competing a little bit.
When you guys make a trade as significant as what you did last night to get Rob, what kind of organizational kind of pull does it take to make a move like that? Like getting everybody on board to make a move like that, the decision's up to where Tim pulls the trigger on it.
Yeah, it really starts at the top of the ownership. And they were in the ownership group was here last night, and the resources that kind of provided us, they okayed everything we did, and it's really a testament to the staff. Today is like the Super Bowl of scouting. And when you're a scout and you're on the road and you're staying at these hotels and getting on commercial flights, it's a little bit different because you're detached from the team. So our staff, I just give them so much credit from the top down. Tim listens on everything. He asks questions. And all the information that's provided over the course of the season that these guys are gathering, that fuels those decisions that were made yesterday. So it starts at the top, and it goes organization-wide, staff-wide. The staff was incredible for the last month and a half after the playoffs ended, and in getting us ready. We had to get a lot of workouts jammed in because we did have 27 and 37, and then over the course of meetings and discussions and debates and video and stats, Rob Dillingham was someone we really wanted to go get, and so Tim, he just went and got him. It was savage, it was just an incredible 2-day performance, and it really has put us in a position to get better.
How have you felt? We asked Tim this last night, but you're talking about having sort of limited resources to work with. This is a different sort of financial setup than you have worked in or Tim has worked in with the new rules. How did that kind of play into being more aggressive in the draft specifically?
Yeah, I would opine that Tim kind of laid the foundation for teams that are in our position going forward with the aprons and the tax exposure and the cap exposure. We had to address needs on the roster with limited resources, so we just utilized the draft as opposed to utilizing free agency or trades. So when Rob and Terrence get here and they get cycled up and they're introduced into the system, we'll have the opportunity to really get high production from them, where they're going to have great mentorship. The veterans on the team are all in a position of their careers where it's time to win and they expect to win. And so exposing those guys to that, sometimes these guys in the draft, it's about the situation you're entered into initially. That dictates the rest of your career. And I think with Rob and Terrence in particular, they fit such specific needs for us. There's going to be the capacity to really grow them organically. So we, Tim in again, the beautiful mind meme may have discovered a way for a team in a position like ours to enhance the roster, and it's via the draft. He mentioned this last night, and I think it was such an interesting point. He never had picked higher than 7 in the draft, and so we got the 8th pick last night, utilizing a really aggressive move. So, all in all, I think this could be kind of a roadmap for teams in our position going forward.
Matt, you've been in other draft rooms and other organizations. What's unique about the way that Tim runs this?
Yeah, it's his ability to communicate and his ability to gather information, across the league. Everyone knows him because, well, you guys all know him too. It's his personality. He doesn't come up here and be someone different than who he is in real life. So his ability to gather information and know who was doing what and when, where, why, and how. That's why we got in the position we got in yesterday and made the deal we did, because of the information gathered. Now he relies on the staff quite a bit too, And it's not just the rank and file scouts. It's our analytics group. It's the health and performance staff providing medical information. So his ability to kind of take in information and process it and then make decisions on it, it's really impressive. And to be up in that room and to kind of watch it unfold over the last couple of days, I mean, that's why he's in the position he's in, and that's why he's kind of been responsible for two very, very good teams in the last 3 years.
Fans saw you trade down and out today. What did you come out of today with?
Yeah, so we have a lot of kind of balls in the air and logistics. So things aren't finalized; they won't be finalized for a while. So I guess we kind of have to TBD on that one.
Matt, you mentioned a moment ago, Kwesi and Falvey was here last night as well.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that you guys kind of took away from them? Tim mentioned it last night as well. What are some things that you maybe took from them, applied here, or something that you just learned with all
we also, Tim and I had the chance to have lunch with Derek a couple weeks ago, and as well, and so just kind of sharing some processes and sharing some logistics about how that night worked. Kwesi came to kind of watch us have a meeting, and more people ended up asking him questions than he asked us, and. I give those guys. I think they do the baseball. They do 3-day draft, and I mean, I would just faint right now if we had one more day that we had to do. So, but it's a good opportunity to learn too. So we'll be able to manage those processes and the logistics of the multi-day draft going forward, and give the NBA credit. They're always looking for ways to improve things, and with this situation, what they did was they extended it into 2 days, and it allowed us to have a lot more communication with the agent community and team community to get some of the things done that we did get done today.
Tim always seems to be pretty humble when we're around him. Does he have to go into boss mode when you guys are in these meetings? Does he have to bark a little bit, or is he always that way?
I think he's just such a. I mean, I'm biased, because he and I are such close friends, but. Going into boss mode for him is more just setting direction and kind of deploying people in a manner to get the information that he needs to make decisions. So I haven't seen boss mode yet, but it's more the constant stream of comedy over the last 2 days, in addition to getting the job done, is always kind of woven in there a little bit.
Matt, you mentioned with some of the scouts who have tracking these guys maybe for years. I mean, you're also one of those people who have been on the road scouting players. With Rob or Terrence, what is kind of your story when you maybe first saw them or have kind of been tracking them over the years?
Yeah, I mean, Terrence, the first time I saw him was his freshman year at Texas Tech at DePaul, and that was my previous team. It was so he had been in the pipeline and in the scouting kind of ether for quite a while, and to have a wing that has switchability, that is an unbelievable transition player, his speed, his power. We got into the Western Conference Finals last year, and to have another wing player to throw on those big power wings it's going to really help us. With Rob, because of COVID and stuff, he had kind of matriculated around a little bit, but in the pre-Kentucky years. So this year was really the first chance that I had to sit down and really study him and watch him, and everything that he does is translatable in a way that is effective in the NBA now. His speed, his ability to play in isolations, his scoring component, and so I think with both of them, it's again not necessarily them per se. It's them plus us. It's them plus the personnel on our team, and we're really going to have a chance to benefit from having them both here. I mean, they're both. We got really lucky last night.
Tim said going into last night that you're good for watching film, but you didn't think it was going to happen. That Dillingham was going to be there for you guys to get. At what point did it become a reality last night?
Yeah.
Was it one of those things that was last minute, as they're on the clock, or was it?
No, I guess it was more just a product of his his savagery, man. He went and got the 8th pick. We had a couple options lined up, but Dillingham was the main target all the time, and he just went out and got him. So it probably became more of a reality around 6 or 7, because just given the amount of canvassing we had done, and he had in particular had done, we kind of knew what was going on in front of us, and we knew where we had to go to get him.
Yeah.
Matt, out of curiosity, I mean, last year with Jalen Clark, like he couldn't play, obviously, but what's the plan for him right now? Do you expect to see him in summer league?
Well,
like, how are things coming together for him?
Yeah, we're going to see him in the summer league, and the hope was that he was going to get a chance to play in Iowa last year, and that didn't happen. The rehab process is done. He's been working out. He's been part of the workouts since the last month of the season. He's really been in here every single day since the season ended. He's in here shooting. He's in here getting in shape. So we're going to see him at the summer league, and really hopeful for him.
Matt, when you look at free agency coming up here, like how confident or what do you feel about keeping some of the guys, Kyle and maybe even Monte, that in the fold?
Yep. Tim talked a little bit about that last night, and they've all been so important to the team. I think it would be our preference to kind of bring everyone back, and they all contributed to 56 wins in the conference finals last year. So it would be foolish for us to be dismissive of the opportunity to bring those guys back. They were all great vets, and so we just kind of have to see how it plays out. We don't control all the variables in free agency.
You mentioned Jalen for summer league. With the other roster pieces, do you know which ones of those guys will be playing? Leonard will
play. Yep. Let's see who else. Josh Minot's going to play. Dacian Nix is going to play. Then Dillingham and Shannon, and we're going to have a couple guys coming that were undrafted. We'll see. That was why I was so late. We were trying to kind of finalize a couple things. And a couple players from our Iowa program are going to come too. So, but the main roster players are the ones that we mentioned.
Matt,
Mateo Spagnuolo.
I'm sorry.
Mateo Spagnuolo.
He's injured right now, so he's gonna stay in Europe this year. He had come last year. He rehabbed an injury he had last year. He had a really good season in the EuroLeague in Germany, but we'll just that he's not going to be here for summer league this year.
Matt, was Rob dinged up at all in the pre-draft or like the workouts? I just thought I read something about
he had a slight ankle injury that kind of prevented him from working out a couple spots, but
he's okay now.
Yep. I'd like to thank Jace Frederick for coming too.
Oh yeah. Very good. Yep. Very good.
I haven't got that on the record.
Yeah. Please make sure that gets on TV tonight too.
Tweet